Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live Web3 Network. We are going to take you around the space and back just around an hour's time. Excited to be sitting with you here on a Thirst Trap Thursday. It's a special episode when we have Jesse Yatrovsky in. Yes, I wish I had the tunes. Hold on, wait. This is all we got, but
Don't you hear the music?
I just turned it up. All right, it's going to be a very special episode because we have Jay Yacht here in NFT Live in the studio. I think this is like her 5th or 6th time as a special guest. Excited to get into.
Should I be a regular?
She basically,
we've been trying.
Dude, she basically started NFT Live. Let's give her the credit. This show wouldn't exist if Jess and Mo hadn't basically started this whole fucking thing. I mean, just in case y'all didn't know the backstory.
Behind every great crypto show is a woman who gave the crypto bro the idea to do it.
You're right.
And he gave her unvaxxed. Never mind.
There's a
So let's not too early, too soon.
It's okay.
There's some backstory here to NFT Live that I'm gonna just shudder in the closet here. Yeah,
do you know the backstory?
I'm never telling. That's going with me to my grave. I'm sitting here with Huda, Jay Yacht, and Gifted. No Biggie Poppins in today. He's touching some grass. I didn't realize this was allowed. I didn't know you could unplug from things here, but he is doing so. He'll be back tomorrow here on Say What as well as NFT Live. So excited to be sitting here with everybody that can and is plugged in. Huda, how you doing, sir?
Dude, so plugged in. So I'm good. It's a weird day. I don't know, like, any stories going on, any narratives. Like, I don't know if there just are none or I'm not hearing them. Like, today feels weird. I don't know. You could teach me something today, I think.
We've been waiting so long for Ethereum NFTs to bounce, and that's not the narrative you're looking into today, Huda?
Are they bounced? They're like, are we back?
Huda only reports the bad news on Ethereum NFTs.
Yes. Wow.
I do love the shitty
Discord?
news.
What do we call him in Discord? Like the Fudda?
Huda the Fuda?
Huda the Fuda?
Huda the
Dude,
Fuda?
I do have this bad habit of coming in and just saying, like, ETH NFTs are fucked. And that's like
Dude,
my thing now.
we finally bounced. Pudgy Penguin's up 32% to
Oh, wow.
15.2. We got little, so basically Pudgies, right? But we got DeGods moving up almost 20%.
Wow.
Just a green day here, Huda, and you
But
missed
why?
it.
Is it because that CryptoPunk sale?
Why? It was 50-50.
Okay.
You know,
Gwei
50-50
is
up or
down
down.
too, so that's like helpful, you know.
What's down?
Gas.
What Gwei?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That could be a reason.
But it's interesting. Like, that CryptoPunk sale was like half of yesterday's Ethereum sales. Like, it's crazy that one NFT can make that kind of, that big of a splash. But
Well, that's a huge sale though. And also when sales volume is already dragging and then you get something at 16 plus mil, what is it? Almost 17 mil on a single JPEG. That's one of the biggest sales we've ever seen, right? I mean, I know there's been like the Goose sold for 6 mil, but that's the Goose.
yeah.
So it's like, this is like more than 2x the Goose, y'all.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Thinking back to, probably 22, but where we had like 100 mil every day on just Ethereum, right? Like, and those days will be back again. And I can't wait for it. But
Do you really think so?
So
yeah, I do. I really do.
I don't know.
When we get to that peak euphoria, we're nowhere close to that. I do think, because like, picture right now, I think this is, kind of still start very, very bottom of the bull cycle. Peak euphoria will be back in 100 mil plus territory.
All right,
I think more than last time around, actually.
I had to check Huda the Fuda up here when we're talking about ETH NFTs finally bouncing. I thought we would come in, Huda would be like, yes, we finally got it, but he's not watching the ETH NFTs. Dude, we spent a whole episode on GM Web3, our spaces that we just come from this. We didn't talk about it at all. It was all meme coins. They just suck up the energy and the air in the room. But ETH NFTs did bounce. Maybe we'll touch a little bit more on that.
Have to.
Huda, before we kind of jump into all that, let's get a proper introduction. What have you been up to the last 24 hours? And let's make our way around the quad box here.
Yeah, I'll just say, the coolest thing I've been up to is kicking off a new daily show that started yesterday afternoon. Dude, okay, it's something I've wanted for years now. It's with my brother Henry the Grape and my friend Joe from VFriends, formerly from VFriends. And like, we all came into NFTs together. So we started together in early 2021. We've been really close friends ever since. And we always wanted to do a show. And it just finally was like the right time. But But my favorite part of it is like the reason I wanted that crew is for the vibes. I knew we get along so well, obviously with my brother, right? But I knew he would have like this cool chemistry. And dude, right away from the intro and our first words, the vibes were there. It felt so fucking good. I'm like, dude, I'm just like glowing from it. I feel like after my first mushroom trip, I feel like one with the world here. It was so fucking fantastic. I'm really happy about it.
As a creator that has been in this space for a long time, it's always cool when you start off a new journey and a new show. So yeah, good luck to you on that one, dude. And yeah, I'd love to hop on whenever I do.
You're
have
all
time.
welcome to. Please, I definitely like that's our core 3, and then I want people to cycle in. Like my brother can't do Thursdays, so there's always going to be openings, any given day of the week, and especially on Fridays. We'll have to chat, but there's got to be something we do like combined on Fridays somehow, some way, some like super long, crazy ass show. We'll chat.
All right. Again, we do have Jessica Yatrowski in here today for the 5th or 6th time. We've been asking her to be a regular on the show, so don't let her say otherwise. But it's always a special day when we have you, Jess. What have you been up to? Excited to be jumping in as well to this collection that you have going on. So what's up?
Yeah, well, it's the first day of spring. I brought a little spring. That's probably going to stick to my hair this entire show. And it's International Poetry Day, so that's kind of cool. I'm excited about that. I have a drop out, which is the only reason why I'm here. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If you guys paid me, I would be on this show every day for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, are you guys getting paid? Like, how's your bank accounts? How are you guys doing? What's going on?
Just say
Get
better.
any sponsors? I can maybe like bring on a tampon sponsor or something.
Is that the target audience?
No, but it
You know
could
what?
be.
Sometimes yes.
Hey, some dudes need these tampons now.
Sometimes. Huda's speaking from experience. Happy International Poetry Day. Learn more about my piece. What's greeting me softly? Let's talk about this.
It's a poem from Golden Throne. Whoa. You want to just play that?
Yeah.
And I'll shut up.
Trailer Maxes. Mysterious.
Yeah, that's the trailer for the drop. That's not the actual NFT, which I know people would be like, I want to be animated. But sorry, that's just the trailer. No, people totally say that. I'll make a trailer or something. They'll be like, I would have bought that. It's like, okay, thanks a lot. Fuck you. Well, this is available as an NFT. It's a poem. It goes from like, if you click on the drop itself and then just go to items, you can see what the actual NFT itself looks like. But yeah, just hit items and then it'll show you the whole thing in its full glory. So it goes from this like hot pink color to this gold color, and it's like a nod to my book Golden Throne that's been out for a minute. It's a collection of poetry. It's my second poetry.
Should I do a reading live?
Do holders
please.
get any utility here? Because I do own.
Yeah.
Some of this.
So there's, I think when you put that information on the drop page, everything that I've done has just been confusing, I think, for the mass population. And it kind of goes with my vibe of like having the speakeasy and the 707 club. And like, if you know, so there's stuff coming out, there will be utility. So this is an open edition. So if people sleep on it, they might be disappointed if they're, genuine fans of my work, because it will have utility down the line. It's just a few bucks. Like I call these essentially free mints. It's on Ethereum, but it's like nothing. So I would highly recommend picking this up because there will be some stuff down the line for you guys. So I'm very excited about it.
All right, we jumped in hot and heavy right off the bat. Give us a quick intro, man, and then let's hop back in. But I don't want to skip you.
Oh, I'm used to the disrespect here, so it's cool. Look, I'm just very I'm always fascinated with Jess because I do truly believe that she's an innovator and a pioneer in this whole space. She's experimented and been early to a lot of things, and particularly around experimenting with sort of not just like the ordinary things that you see a lot of in the space, which is a lot of PFP, digital art, illustration, painting, even, it's like there's certain kinds of things that sort of lend themselves more easily to the different formats that are available and the types of platforms and experiences. And, you know, you've really been just going down your own path, experimenting with poetry, experimenting with photography, and how do you move photography into generative art, or here, how do you take your really pithy, clever, funny short poems and move them into some kind of virtual 3D medium. And so, yeah, that's what I just think is so cool whenever we sort of have these check-ins and you're dropping the latest, you know, project, is that you really do stand out to me as somebody who's very singular in that way, because there's no one else doing any of the shit that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like there's no one else doing poetry like you're doing poetry in Web3. And I feel pretty confident saying that, because there's not a lot of poetry at all in the first place.
I appreciate that. I love when people say, like when I'm writing up like, oh, first this or that, people are like, ooh, I don't know if you should say that, because what if you're not the first? And I'm like, well, if I'm not the first, I
Go
hope
find it.
like I hope that person will come, because like we're not, who's that? The group of people that are allegedly like Anon Canadian, whatever, like the people like that did poetry, Poke.
I was gonna say Pack, but I didn't.
Yeah, so like I don't like, that's not, we're not the same, like because we're using words, like okay, like we're doing different things. And also like what I really liked about this piece is I feel like I'm moving into sort of teasing and sharing with you guys that I make music too. So I made that song on the trailer, which is really dope. Wow. Yeah, so like I've been experimenting with music for years, so it's cool like bringing art onto the blockchain and then slowly like teasing out like the different mediums I've worked in my entire career and sharing that with you guys. I'm gonna have an album out later this year, so and there I have music. I think you played the track during one of the hackathons like years ago.
What was the name of that one? I remember it was a very provocative song.
Cunt Keeper.
Cunt Keeper. Jesus. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You are a creative freaking force. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm actually I don't know if he minds me saying this, but Winebags is working on one of the tracks on the album. So
right on.
Jess, we're very much in this like multi-chain narrative, and you've actually created some pieces here on like Base and things like this. Why choose to mint on Ethereum right now?
Because I didn't feel like I had the support from Base on this drop.
Yeah, I mean, Jess is established as an artist enough that she tends to get some kind of support, whereas like, you know, earlier people like me don't always get that much support. So that makes sense, right? Like you oftentimes go where the partnerships are.
Yeah, and they got a promise to retweet you, and they got a promise to like, you know, have integrity and return your emails. So I don't feel good about going on a chain where I don't feel like the organization is going to support or retweet. Like then that to me is gambling. Whereas I know like when I drop on OpenSea, for example, like the team over there is really fantastic. They engage with my tweets, they retweet things, they stay in touch with me. And I know it might not, you know, be as many as I'd get on Base right now, but like that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. It's like the relationships and the communication is very important. I do not like to be feeling left hanging out. I don't think any artist likes that. But the experience I had on Base when I did On-Chain Summer was amazing. The piece that we did with Nifty Kit for Sarah, amazing. You know, so it's like I'm just like seeking out those types of interactions. And I think like a lot of artists, they deserve that, you know, and like you brought up royalties too this morning and on GMO3, and I was laughing about that because I just feel like part of me is like, we just need to get over it. Like they're just not going to give us royalties, and not that we shouldn't, you know, keep fighting for it, but it's like my whole career as an artist has not been around royalties. It's just about creating art, creating products, creating a pipeline for collectors to follow what you're doing. And I know like as a person who's not like a professional musician, they have a different axe to grind, and like they should be getting royalties because the way music is used. And I know people will argue like the way art is used, it's used in the same way, but I'm used to the abuse. So it's fine. Like if they don't ever give us royalties, I'm already used to existing in that world. If they end up giving us royalties, awesome. But like I just never see myself as someone that's going to be bought, resold over and over and over again. So that's kind
Not
of
until you're dead. Yeah.
yeah. And then that doesn't matter. So I don't care.
All right, Jess, we've already shown off a couple of the different. I think we got a trailer in as well as the collection page. Just drop us any last things we should be showing off here as well, and then I'll get the links in the sections for y'all that need to be in the description as well as in the community chat.
Maybe I'm going to put out a tweet right now because I'm doing a special giveaway for people that own that mint this project and mint Object Chronicles, which is still available, but they have to mint it this week in order to enter the contest. So I'm going to put that out. But no, I'm just super stoked, super excited to be here. Not really Degen is on tonight, so you guys should come through. Uncensored. We can throw that up.
I try and stop through those, Jess, and hang out for a little bit. And there's
I'm
such
so irritated because I feel like we're getting trolled the worst every time you stop by. Well, show them with a picture. You want to entice people to come.
Of course, you're so
Yeah,
right. You know what?
Look, if you like leaning into the sort of like shit talking drama side of degeneracy, this is probably a show for you.
You will
and
love this show.
I enjoy it, and I enjoy it in small amounts, but y'all get a little bit too wild in there sometimes.
Define too wild?
Yeah, what is too wild? Because it's not there's not enough order for you.
It's like a particular type of conversation that I don't thrive in necessarily. So I like to come in. I like to come in, add in my 2 cents, try and stick around if I can, and then see myself out and Irish exit, you know?
But it's more of a marathon because like you were gone by the time, because we had who would you cancel, who would you uncancel? We only got one answer from you. Who would you fight?
There was a fun game show element to it.
You didn't fight any. You fought someone.
You get caught up quick in that.
Yeah, and then someone else came in and they like bombed the stage, and then I had another question for you, but you had already left. I wanted to talk a little bit about your project, and you had already left.
Should have texted me. Should have let me know.
I feel like
next time.
I don't know. I went to text you, and then I was getting trolled by someone else because we also do something called troll conversion in this room. So when trolls come up, we convert them, and then they become fans.
How many trolls are you getting?
Not a lot. I mean, some of the trolls are like inner circle. They're like, Matt and Kane trolled us last week. And I was
coming from inside the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just got to like tread lightly with the trolls. But yeah, you guys should come back and stay next time and actually play the game, because now I've worked with my therapist on how to shut down some of these other folks that keep taking over the room with these long sob stories. I'm like, this ain't Clubhouse. So anyways, not really Degen, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. So
it's over there in the comments section for those of you on YouTube. If you're checking us out on X, you'll have to follow Jessica Yatrovsky.
And we're giving away one of Mo's pieces tonight too.
Oh yeah, Mo's Choosies. Her bass drop is a fun riff, generative AI riff off of the I choose rich every time meme. So shout out Mo Runda giving that away tonight.
All right, a couple updates I want to get to on the market side here. Again, we have shared Jessica Yatrovsky's collection. What's the details here, Jess? Like, what's the final time they can mint this? It's the mint window.
I think it will end right before NFT NYC.
Okay.
So like 10 days-ish. Okay. But I want to encourage people to grab this and grab an Object Chronicles because I'm doing a giveaway. And then if this giveaway goes well, I'll just keep doing these.
Okay.
Until I die.
And we'll be covering it.
Until I leave the space.
Until
I'm just going to keep making art, you guys, like through the bull, through the bear. Like I'm still here. And I know we say like, who's still here? We're still here. Like us in this fucking quad box, whatever. We're still here. We've been here. Fucking support us.
Never left. Yeah.
If you want to support us right now on the show, unless you want to like donate to a wallet address or something, the next best thing, you can actually leave a thumbs up. You can do that. Or repost or reply or do anything you can to support us. Like
it actually helps a ton, right?
It does.
Like those likes, like the algorithm really does like that shit.
Yeah, y'all been getting after it on that front. And the people that have commented afterwards, we get a ton of post live viewers that can't make it while we're here, but catch us afterwards. We see y'all too. All right, I'm going to jump into the market really quick. One token that we have been talking about, by the way. I'm jumping right to our markets because look at our fancy.
Nailed it.
Yeah, we nailed this, guys. Look at
you literally nailed it.
It's kind of outside our ranges if you think about it, but it's still inside our larger range. It could go to 0 or it could go just to Valhalla. So Jess, we're completely joking, by the way. This is a fictitious
what is this?
Yeah. Nick just is up to 6 mil. I think it got up to around
8 or 9 probably.
Was it 8 or 9? I think it hit 12.
It probably got over 10. That's, again, there's a range here and a lot of volatility. That's what I've been telling everybody. This thing's not going away. They dropped a thread cast yesterday with him, got millions of views.
There it is.
Y'all didn't want to hear me, especially the Marty McFlys of the world did not want to hear me when I said the nose has legs. They don't want to listen, and then they'll figure it out.
And if you can guess what this is over on Bitcoin Ordinals, we have gone from 0.03 all the way up to I believe 0.08 or in 0.0008 or something like that. But we're up 3x here almost on. Anybody tell me?
Pups, baby. Little pups,
That's
baby. Awesome. I hope y'all got them. I hope you were paying attention. Again, dude, the calls have been on point this week.
Yeah, a couple other things I want to get into with stuff that we have been covering up to Thursday now, sitting here near the end of the week. Huda, I know you're doing your 5 minute, and then they've elongated now. I think you're up to like 10, right?
Dude.
Or you're kind of in that range of daily updates. Like what's going on?
I'm gonna be honest, they kill me. Those up like they take so long to do.
Yeah.
Just adding a couple extra minutes adds so much time. I ask people though, do you want 5 or do you like the longer ones? Everyone's like, I like the longer ones, man. So got to give the people what they want.
Yeah,
but
the CryptoPunk sale is pretty big. But what else have you been tracking or had tracked the last 24?
That was the big story. There was also, I like the hilarious shit. Like I always say, I'm just here as an enjoyer, and I really am. The BlackRock thing where they made this $100 million USDC fund, right? The fact that people are sending them bullshit NFTs to their wallet.
They got a chungo.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Like that's what I'm here for. So to me, that was my favorite story of the day.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. If you're able to find any of that and pull it up, it's pretty funny. Chief Chungo was posting about it, like he was laughing his ass off.
They got dick butts too. Amazing.
BlackRock, dude. They have a wallet worth like 50K in NFTs now. People just fucking sent them. Absolutely amazing. The larger sort of macro story around this is also very interesting, and I don't know that this is the time or place to try and like unpack all the shit that's happening, but my sense is that there's two sides of this, and it comes down to who has the bigger stick and who has the most political influence that they want to push the hardest. BlackRock is on one side pushing for we want Ethereum ETFs, and then you've got the Elizabeth Warrens, the big banks, and the people that pay for the Elizabeth Warrens campaigns, the big banks, and the SEC who pay for, that's the revolving door of giving Gary Gensler a cushy job when he gets out. Those people on the other side that are fighting for the status quo and saying, we're the ones that lose as crypto takes more and more market share and more liquidity out of our system. So that's what you got. There's two sides of political influence right now, and it's going to come down to who has the bigger stick and who wants to push on that harder. So right now they're trying to delay so that the banks can get in and figure out how do they set themselves up, to own as much of it and keep the control as much as possible. And then you've got the BlackRocks and everybody else who's saying, fuck off. Like, this is what we want. We don't want our money getting inflated away and losing all of our value. This is the future. Get out of our fucking way. And so that's what's happening right now. You've got two different bulls and they're locking horns, and it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening.
Yeah. It's wild to be rooting for BlackRock, like full on rooting for BlackRock. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Here we are though.
Of course, I disagree with Marty here. I feel like I want to agree with Marty more, but the goose is really nothing compared to the alien CryptoPunk. I don't know if I can go there.
I could argue either side of that.
Yeah, I really like the provenance of the goose there, and the goose honestly was one of the first times that my brain clicked, on generative art, right, and the randomness around that, and it creating something that ended up being beautiful in somebody's eye, right, and that's pretty cool. I do want to give a quick shout out. We talked a little bit about the community here. One of our very long time supporters. I mean, OG Lad in the house coming through. We just showed off Greeting Me Softly, the collection that Jess has minting now. And it looks like Easy and Crypto. Just grabbed myself a couple. Love the work you're doing, Jess. So big shout out to Easy.
Yo,
I think he's here. Yeah.
Smash the like for Easy and Crypto and Jess and that type of community love and support. Y'all go follow Easy and Crypto on fucking X. Go let's drop his Twitter and X. This man absolutely deserves more love. True OG, an amazing community member, as you can tell. This is the type of person that we want more of in the space. We love you, dude. Thanks for everything that you do and being an awesome person. So
I think he's been doing a great job. We need to get him on NFT Live. I've been pushing him.
Ooh, that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, he's got to get Wi-Fi that's not a potato. I think that's his fucking
He's
problem.
always covering the jungles of Costa Rica.
Yeah, he's got potato Wi-Fi out there.
All right, here was the big story that, again, Huda was kind of delving into is the CryptoPunks $16 million sale. You can see Perugia here. Hopefully I'm saying that right. End of an era. I've long since felt like an imposter holding punks and potentially NFTs a whole hostage by not elevating 7804 in the way he deserves. After over a year of looking around, I feel like I found the right buyer. 16 mil for this. That seems like an absorbent amount. I mean,
in 1 year, bruh. So he basically doubled his 7 mil investment in 1 year.
Oh, they were not the minter of it, huh?
No, I'm pretty sure. Somebody double check me on this. I'm pretty sure that same punk was sold from the original minter for 7 mil about a year ago. Maybe a little bit.
I'm looking now. That's wild. It's just the craziest thing. We've seen two of these now. 2 alien punks sell in 3 weeks for 16 mil. It's awesome. It's special. It's it's one of those indicators of what's I think heading our way this year. But
Huda, does that not? Are you thinking not at all like manipulation here? Like
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some man. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. It's like the collectible guru, something like that, tweeting that out, and most of the replies are from non NFT people calling it wash trading and just fake sale. I don't agree. I do think alien punks are different. They're the rarest in the collection. There's only I think 9 of them. I think they're different. They're special. I think they're worth that.
All right, I'm going to transition us here into Ethereum NFTs. Obviously, CryptoPunks being one of the OGs there and one that will continue to do well. The thumbnail on today's episode is Ethereum NFTs finally bounce, right? We finally see some green and maybe some relief. Pudgy Penguin's leading the way. I was able to flip a mutant for little Pudgies back in the day. They fell down to like 0.7 and are now sitting at 0.13. I mean, this is a huge day. It's hard to understate like how big of a move that is. Granted, what we've been seeing over the past months, you could even say years at this point. Pudgies have been moving, but NFTs as a whole have been moving down. And this, I mean, it's good to see some green. I'll just keep it at that. Guys, I just want your take here. We briefly touched on it, but let's go dive in a little bit more. We see a bounce. Is this a rotation back into ETH? Do you just foresee, hey, this might be a brief, kind of relief, but they're still going to go down? I feel like Huda, that was kind of that's been your take, is that ETH NFTs are going to continue to struggle into the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know where the bottom is. Like, it's possible we found it, but I think everybody's waiting for some kind of catalyst so they feel confident that we're done with that downward move. So I'm not going to be surprised either way. If this was the end, I don't know what actually marked the end of that downward movement. So again, I don't know. I think we all are just feeling this out.
Here, I mean, look, corrections go both ways. When you overcorrect downward, you're going to get a correction upward. And what we've been talking about is that at some point, the narrative shifts. At some point, things become so affordable and so cheap that people start buying them again. And so maybe it's again, the puck went so far away from ETH that it's starting to come back. This could literally just be a minor blip in the sort of bigger ETH narrative that's going to come later. This might be just, again, a reaction and a quick sort of like correction back up the other way, consolidating into some of the top projects that people are more bullish on. And then it dies down again and maybe it hits another low. But either way, I just think you're seeing the boomerang, the puck flying back and forth, or the narrative shifting and people reallocating into the higher conviction plays and things that they think will do well, that are undervalued, that are cheap. So I expect we'll see more of this. It's just when, like to me, it's just, does this sort of correction continue for a little bit? Is this just a quick little correction and then the puck moves elsewhere again for a while? Or, is it going to be another 6 months until the ETH narrative really picks up?
Yeah.
Just don't know.
I think honestly, like, don't you guys feel, since Ethereum was, like the popular kid on the block for forever, that people that were in the space when stuff was really popping off, they're comfortable with Ethereum. They're scared to go on other chains. So like they'll still be like a healthy, large community that's going to continue to purchase NFTs on Ethereum, like period.
Yes.
Like think about like the email blasts that go out from some of the biggest platforms, and there are devoted followers of these platforms. They're going to buy Ethereum NFTs. Like,
look,
period.
I want to get to some comments here in the chat, but Quantum Variant, it does a good job of bringing this up when we talk about other layers.
Just said, "Oh my God, it's a girl."
Okay.
Quantum Variant brings up a lot of times ETH is involved in all these layer twos, right? When you're on base, you're transacting in ETH. And so like you do have this network effect that kind of eventually comes back to ETH. But let's see. Gif, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I agree with Jess on this. And I think, we've been saying similar things. Huda was kind of saying too, that the behavior and the trust, the network, the liquidity, and all the things that the culture, the actual art collector, the users that actually do fuck with collecting art, you don't just disappear that. They just chill out for a while, go touch grass or experiment on other places. But end of the day, when NFT meta returns, yes, there will be some of that speculation on Solana. Of course there will be. Yes, there will be some of that speculation on Say. Maybe a little bit on Blast.
It's just not built out. Yeah.
Maybe the Tezos ecosystem even fucking comes back. I hope so.
Yeah, where have they been?
But if it comes back and you're talking about throwing around $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 clips on JPEGs, there is still one place that you trust that there is a community or a network that supports that type of art collecting and JPEG collecting. And it's fucking Ethereum, y'all.
Yep.
Like,
it's just how long. It's just the timeline and the opportunity cost of being somewhere else before that happens, I think is what we're kind of keying in on. Huda, what's up?
Well, I'll tell you what I think is maybe the best part, of the bear market, people branching out and playing on all these other chains. And like Gif said, they are going to come back to ETH. I think it's great for onboarding, because now all these people that have gotten to touch base and Solana and whatever other blockchain, when they onboard their friends, they can onboard them there. Like, I think that's awesome. Now they've experienced with some platforms that might be easier to use and cheaper to use. They can go back to ETH, right? They can have their buddies get onboarded elsewhere. They'll come over to ETH.
The big league.
ETH
is the big league. Bro.
Yeah, okay. I love where Huda's steering this direction, but honestly, if in a situation where they touch base first, are they ever going to go and take the next step and go back from a user experience?
Oh, yeah.
Once they graduate,
they will?
Once they graduate up and they're looking at CryptoPunks, they're looking at more fine art. Yes, bro. Because here's the thing: there's different use cases for each of these things. If you're going to succeed, you have to figure out what is your sort of niche. And Solana, might have some good PFPs and collectibles, and maybe it has a little bit of art. Solana is not the art marketplace. It's just not it.
Right.
Okay. Base is going to be more of the collectibles, more of the experimental, like a Tezos was. It's going to fill in more of that a little bit lower end. Maybe you get like a couple G's. Maybe
it's Binance more than
maybe it's Binance, but
yeah.
dude, once you're talking about the higher end shit and you're talking about the big leagues, you're talking about Ethereum. That's where the biggest collectors are going to be. That's where the biggest fucking the crypto punks, the Bored Apes, a lot of those are going to be.
I just want to be clear here. That is not the conversation though that we were having with onboarding new people, right? If them touching base and then making their way to ETH, that is way different than going into ETH and getting into these hardcore projects that you're mentioning. So
it's progression though, is all I'm saying, is that we're giving people easy ways in to get more comfortable. And then if for the people that feel comfortable enough and want to gamble or go in bigger, then they go that route. So base becomes the on-ramp. These are the on-ramps, dude. And ordinals is the other place where the big leagues is. So Ethereum and ordinals, that's the big
kind of backwards though, to like onboard people through base and then try to explain to them what Ethereum is.
It feels backwards, but I think that is going to be the new normal. And like, I know people who were like Solana focused for years. Like since Solana launched, that was really how they came into the ecosystem. But they had Chromie Squiggles as their target, right? They were looking for ETH grails to get into one day. And when the market turned around and they made some big profits on Solana, they went shopping for those grails on ETH. So it played out exactly like Gif is saying, actually.
I know Quantum said something here. He said Ethereum is still the best blockchain for smart contracts, hands down. BlackRock isn't choosing SOL. That speaks volumes. I agree with that. As somebody who works for a no-code smart contract company, like those are my interests for sure as a creator.
Yeah, Quantum Variant keeps hitting this, and I think it's true because we're probably watching some of the same TradFi bloggers out there on YouTube, Quantum, because that's what I've picked up too, is the people that are the money market funds, the fucking TradFi big institutional guys, they do care that Solana has outages. That matters. That really fucking matters. When they're talking about moving around billions of fucking dollars, that fucking matters.
I don't know if that's the same though. Like I think that they in the Solana environment set up their own private blockchains to handle those transactions.
Is that fired answer?
I don't know. Like there's all these like the way that Coinbase is going to do a lot of their stuff is because they can set up and white glove a private blockchain.
Layer 3. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
so
it's
I think it was Quantum. Somebody was saying that Coinbase is going to bring Quantum USDC chain coming to Coinbase layer 3 could change it. Yeah. So for some of this stuff, you're right. That's again part of the power of Coinbase and them having their own L2 is that they can now specialize different subchains, L3s, or different things to handle different clients. Like, y'all, this.
All right.
Coinbase is the thing that's right in front of your face. It's so close that you can't quite see it clearly yet. But yeah.
All right. I'm gonna talk about this really quick because Huda did some digging on Crypto Slam and brought this up. So again, I'm not sure. It looks like it moved from 0x03 to Perugia on a 6. So it says 2. That's interesting. So a day ago it says 2, but that has to be the seller, correct? So I thought Perugia was the seller here.
Yes.
So they're sending it, but I'm confused. Anyways, Perugia is the seller here. I'm very confused at the 2 here.
They might have had it in another wallet. They might have had it in like cold storage or something, no?
Maybe.
I see what you're saying. Actually, I don't even know. I need to.
Anyways, what you have to key in on here is that the ETH price wasn't that different. I mean, certainly
3 years ago.
Certainly there's a difference in ETH, maybe like 600 ETH here that they made profit. But the real difference of 7 to 6 mil is just holding ETH and the USD price changed. So 3 years ago, whatever ETH was, it was worth 7 mil, around the same amount of ETH though. So kind of just held.
Yeah, time flies. I was in. It was a clubhouse room. I should have known it was 3 years ago. I was in the clubhouse room when this sale happened with the seller, and he did like honestly a truly beautiful tribute because he was the original minter that held on to it for like 3 years. This very, very special piece. And then at that time, it was one of the biggest NFT sales that had ever happened. And so, he kind of did like a whole eulogy or something for his moment of, owning this grail. sale. And it was a special moment. That's why I remembered it was 7 mil. But yeah, 3 years ago. So still not bad for 3 years of holding a JPEG.
All right, some other quick updates here on tokens that we normally cover and have been kind of sharing, although nothing is financial advice. Do your own research, all of that. Prime is about to go over $28. So it's screeching up to that $40 mark. Arrow is moving up above 90 cents. We have some others on base doing extremely well. We've been covering that. Guys, any specific tokens you want to cover that we've been touching on like a bunch? Shrapnel sitting at 29 cents as well, kind of basing along with some of the market.
I feel like whenever Huda's here, I want him to talk about ordinals and, you know, Bitcoin.
Whenever Huda's here, every day.
Bitcoin puppets. Well, yeah, every day. Yeah, please tell me what's happening in ordinals. Bitcoin puppets hit an all-time high yesterday. Little pups have been fucking flying, but other than that, like, I'm not paying attention to much other shit over there right now.
Yeah, what's going on over there that's maybe new and different? We did find out who the artist is behind the parent runestone, and I thought that was actually a big deal. Did you see that GIF?
Was it a guy?
Yeah, it's OX Far. Yeah, is that shocking? I mean, it's all. Right?
My God.
Yeah,
she's gonna troll anything, any opportunity to bring it back to gender politics, where she can troll us for
It's
being
not
crypto
gender
bros.
politics. It's young boy politics.
Okay,
That he
that's
was
not
15.
just
Is that the title of a new rap album?
Yep.
young boy
Oh, I love
politics.
that.
Yeah, all right.
But I would say at least the takeaway there is Far is touching almost every major project. So you know the alpha is make sure you're looking at Far. I think his art pieces are a little undervalued. Some of them hang right around the mint price, and you know that's not normal. The collector base is just pretty small over there still. So that's just a heads up. Like personally, I'm looking at his secondary on flares and on his early GANs, and he's got some other collections coming too.
Can we look at the early GANs?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're able to find that one, Q. I think it's just early -GAN. Is that it? So this is one that you brought to us when around the mint, and I faded the mint. I didn't get it, but I've been just kind of watching it because it has this interesting story. You've been kind of early on some of these narratives within the Bitcoin ordinal space. And so this one seems interesting to me. It's just these interesting early.
Yeah, if I'm going to stop you real quick, just so that your audio can catch up. Let's see. Test now.
Yep. Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Hello. So this is the artist behind Quantum Cats, right?
Yeah, correct. And Taproot Wizards, and now we know the Runestone, and so much. Yep, that's him.
And there's not part of what like kind of slowed me up on this is it doesn't have a lot of volume, but it's a very low supply. And that's what's really interesting to me here is that this is kind of similar to Hardo, seems to be one of those artists that has really established themselves early in the ordinals space. And so this to me could be one of those things that like nobody's looking at, and then all of a sudden it starts to really cook.
Here's a direct thing you can compare it to. I sent in the private chat, but his first art collection that was publicly available is called Flares, right? That's a 500 edition collection, and they're at 0.06 right now, and they got some decent volume at periods. So the early GANs is like half of the size, and it's cheaper. And it's just one of those things. There's not enough collectors right now to actually support the prices that are there, but there will be. Those early GANs I'm looking at, man. I am.
Yeah. So I think this is interesting, and to be honest, I might be picking one of these up. I've just kind of been looking at it every once in a while, checking in on it, because that you've been really solid with calling some of these early things that you see over there. So that might be one. Not financial advice.
All right, if we have any other Bitcoin ordinal stuff, definitely drop it into the private chat, and I'd love to have that convo. A couple quick updates. Ronin, the Ron token here, we've been following, but it hasn't been listed on Coinbase. So majority of retail that trades over there hasn't had access to it. I need to check on how it's performing, but they just got listed. Tough time to buy off the Coinbase listing, but also, I mean, it's long term it could dip again. This could be like a local top situation, but I think Ron continues to run. I've always been bullish on Axie Infinity and the Sky Mavis and all of that eco to understand how to turn the right levers to get products to do well.
We've been calling this one since $1, and I've been literally kicking myself the whole time because I've been too lazy to like set up a new OKX like centralized exchange wallet or whatever.
It's always
because,
that extra layer of
yeah,
lazy.
and
It is.
and I knew I was being late. Like literally just 2 days ago, I sat there looking at like, okay, what are the places? Where can I buy it? And just not wanting to go through the extra KYC or extra steps. And then here you go. It's getting listed on fucking Coinbase.
There's go ahead.
Well, this price doesn't seem astronomical, like even close. A lot of people have
No.
been calling for $20-$30 run. So
I'm probably gonna be buying some when it chills out a little bit if it doesn't run up too fast.
Yeah, ran up to 450 March 13th, probably in some type of realm of saying, okay, Coinbase listing maybe coming soon, all of that stuff. Dipped below right off the announcement, 320, and is now kind of kicking back up, trying to touch 4. So yeah, Ron doing extremely well. I want to give a shout out to Sonny Black, who is a community member who's been around and in our community for a while, and is part of the Kilobears kind of ecosystem and community. They're doing the first bridge, it looks like, the Galactic Portal Bridge to Solana. You can now begin sending your Cubs to Solana in this all-new experience in multi-chain NFT interoperability. Correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to be the first time we're getting a native bridge from ETH to Sol for an NFT project?
I don't know if this is the first. I know that Sound has recently been doing something similar. Like they literally launched their own standard to move from ETH to Solana. So I don't actually know if they already like launched and bridged. So it's tough for me. Again, like Jess was kind of joking about like, you know, people throwing around first. It's sometimes you just got to go out and look at the metadata to really get clear. But yeah, clearly this is like at least one of the early projects that's really committing to this move.
I've liked the IP for a long time. We'll say that. So yeah, Kilobears, big shout out to them and their move to Solana. I mean, that's an interesting move when we've been talking about, hey, like it might be a top scenario to be bridging to Solana. They're saying, nope, we're going to move from Ethereum. We're headed, to their greener pastures on Solana. All right, we lost Huda just for a moment. He said he's on his way back, I believe. I don't have much more today. We wanted to keep this episode a little bit shorter, so we'll probably go for another 10 minutes at most.
Bullshit. We don't keep these at an hour or less. No. 2 hours.
Just in case, saying, hey guys, gals, life is life. Crazy. Sorry I'm late. Missed you. Welcome in, sir. Fisker saying here, Chelsea fan, can't laugh at a single club. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel you. We're still gonna keep the blue flag flying. DP saying, look at me naming base shitters. So Elon RWA. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a tip here. We touched on the artifacted Nike stuff. I think Fisker's bringing that up. Dead Polaroid. This is where I'll end. I think you had the best take here. I think as far as the timeline is concerned, this is it. BTC and Ordinals continues to run a couple months post-halving, then all will rotate back over into ETH and alts. I think the timing is a little bit less than that. I think a couple months post-halving where they've already kind of been running, that would be a wild scenario to see them. But that's kind of what Hoot is predicting. Anyways, I think we'll still see this Ordinals Bitcoin stuff happening, and then we see the ETH rotation in alts, and that'll be the blow off the top.
Timing it is the hardest part, man, because like you said yesterday, Q, you can be right on the thesis and wrong on the execution every single fucking time. But really, to me, the goal is to try and just stay a little bit ahead of that curve and keep thinking on where's it going next and not get stuck in the like, oh, I missed that thing, or like, oh, this is where everybody's at now. Chase the hype. It's like, I'm trying to stay out of that fucking hype mentality and keep looking forward. And trying to make my moves according to what I'm seeing and not what everybody's fucking talking about on X. Because, dude, again, if you are listening to old pre-recorded YouTube videos, or you're looking at what's happening on the timeline on X right now, thinking that that's what's happening in the future, like, no, these are all data points in the past. If somebody's talking about it on X, or they're talking about it on pre-recorded videos, you're their exit liquidity. They've already sized up and positioned before they're going out and sharing that shit.
That is the best advice you're going to get. Yes, when the crowd is talking about it, that's your signal to get out. That's it. That's the top. So, man, great advice.
So then why even have these shows?
It's to teach you to get early.
That's what we talk about. We talk about where's the puck going, Jess. That's what we try and do here. Is we talk about the random crazy shit.
Advice by
we're not financial advisors. Yes, obviously.
You know what it is? It's usually, hey, we found something that's really, really cool right now. Nobody's talking about it. We think it's super interesting. We think this makes a lot of sense, and that's when you want to go and explore. That's when you want to be.
There's some influencers that kind of are like on the edge of this, in my opinion, where they're actually sharing good alpha, as you would call it, and I really hate that term, but they're sharing it right after they buy it or something like that. But really what we're doing up here is kind of having a conversation that happen in Discord, right? Isn't that like personal
chats?
Yeah, we're just like kind of bringing them to YouTube.
We talk I think a lot more about strategy than we do about like what are we gonna go do right fucking now. We try and focus more on where we think the stuff is going. But anyway,
I agree with Dead Polaroid. Like, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor. Why do I have to say this is not financial advice? I'm an artist. I can give you financial advice if I want.
It's just to remember to make sure that people are being smart and they're not aping into things and not speckling too hard. And it's I don't know, like it's part of it's CYA, cover your own ass. And part of it's just trying to actually remind people that this is all very speculative gambling. And at the end of the day, you're responsible for the ludicrous bad decisions that you're going to make with your money.
There's a lot of great follows on X other than people that have huge following counts as well. There's a ton of people who are just kind of tweeting. You find them, bookmark them, and just follow those motherfuckers because they'll often lead you to gold as well. But yeah, I think that the point, Jess, I think was when it's just flooding your timeline, it's like, okay, yeah, here we are.
Like a perfect example is Q's been talking about the base, DeFi ecosystem for months and months and months. Now everybody else is, as of like yesterday or the past few days, then there's the difference.
All right, we do have the Runestone holder update here, Huda. What do we got?
Yeah, there's a few different things here. I just want to point out, I still think even at 0.05, I think Runestones are very, very special. I think as of now, at least 10 different airdrops or whitelists that are for Runestone holders. I think this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. On top of the rune that you'll get when the meme coin actually goes live, these are all additional things. So, anyone I know with a Runestone is not even looking to part with it. That is their exposure to that ecosystem over there. People are not.
This feels like this is the Wii bump.
0.05. What is that? Because that's what Runestones are going for.
Like 3,300 or so.
It's actually not that bad though.
It's not. It's like 1 ETH.
If you're getting 10 different airdrops, any of these actually going to turn into something? Huda, anything that stands out that you're seeing?
No, not yet. I mean, because who knows what they actually are going to be. Actually, I'll make that a little homework assignment and dig into these and see if any stand out. But it's like these are just bonus on top of the actual Runestone meme coin that's going to come. Which
it's almost like it's almost like a mint pass at this point. And the challenge with mint passes is that they have like a specific window where they're valuable, and then they kind of are worthless, like and nobody. Joke. Yeah, and so that's the real challenge with playing something like this for me is like you're trying to do the degen math on does existing floor price and buy-in somehow equate to more or less than what I think I'm getting, because after that there's no guarantee that floor price is worth anything. And so who knows, maybe these, because of being on Bitcoin, they hold some kind of floor long after this. But I just wouldn't be surprised if after some of these airdrops come, you start to see that floor price going down a lot.
Hey, I have a question. Since this is a workshop format here today, I'm just kidding. How hard is it to launch one of these coins?
A meme coin or an ordinal, or what are we talking about?
A meme coin. I know you guys are looking at ordinals, but
there's a lot of artists that are figuring it out, but there's also a lot of them that are fucking it up. So there's definitely nuances to doing it well.
You just work with a dev though. Like you just split the profit with a dev or something.
But what's what on Fiverr? Like where do you find a dev that you can actually
don't find your dev on Fiverr.
That's what I'm saying. Like how do you find a dev that's not a con artist, right? And
look at your Rolodex, if you will, and pick out a couple names that you think might have a connection to a dev or that would know somebody that knows somebody, and then that's where you
I do, but they're all con artists and some have even stolen money from me. So
Yep, that's why this is treacherous. There you go, Jess, right there.
Yeah, that's advice for everybody out there. I mean, like it costs you sometimes to be a trailblazer. So, factor that in. Can you write that off of your taxes if you got conned? Actually, you
100%.
can. There's a form for it. Actually, I found out recently. So
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, there's a ton of different ways I guess you could go about it. Yeah, I've been in several meme coins that have had like the team, and then they hire a dev, and then I'm sitting there in the Telegram, and they're like, "Holy shit, everything's gone. The dev rugged everybody." This is the situation that actually happened. All right, Sovereign Art here, Huda. Let's dive in real quick.
Yeah. So okay, I don't know a ton about this other than this is a collection on Bitcoin from Pindar, right? Like I think that's his name, Pindar. He was a big name in the ETH space. So it's like a very cheap mint, I believe, too. And there's whitelists for this all over the place on X right now. So this is one I have been looking anywhere I can to get on whitelists and enter raffles. I'm just suggesting that people look at that one for the same reason. But, like his collections over on ETH are all, 0.15, 0.5, 0.8. Like he's a pretty big draw. So recommend people take a peek for themselves.
I feel like we saw this coin narrative somewhere. I think it was like with Coinbase. Wasn't Coinbase trying to do the penny hat thing?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Is this so? 10,000 cents on 10,000 sats, both a relic of inflation. Cents is an epitaph for fiat inscribed on Bitcoin.
And I feel like the cost of these are damn near free. Yeah, the price is actually 1 sat. Yeah, I mean it's basically a free mint. So
got it.
Yeah,
so
no reason to not.
It's interesting to see what'll happen with these types of experiments. So I might want to just get in just to have one or two and be part of it, because you never know like what goes on. The thing that it makes me think about, and I know that I'm definitely preaching to the choir here or whatever that fucking saying is, like an interesting little factoid about our current monetary system here in the US is that it currently costs more to create pennies.
Oh, one quick. Gotcha. All right, go.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it's like an interesting little thing that it currently costs us more to keep making pennies and nickels than they're actually even worth. Obviously, part of this is like inflation, part of it's just like where it's going, but it's one of these things that adds to the thesis of like why the future is digital currency, right? It's like these things don't make sense, right? Like a lot of these things are just relics of the past, and that's what's interesting about these experiments. They're playing with that idea. But if you needed any more reasons for why the future is digital money, there you go. These things literally do not even scale. They're just outdated fucking relics.
That's a great point.
Nobody even uses pennies and nickels, and yet we're paying more than they're worth to make them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a crazy space, you guys.
It's wild.
What a world we live in. All right. OpenSea with this Seaport announcement. I mean, I don't. Huda, sounds like you got something to say here. I mean,
I don't even know about this.
This is that. Okay, Jessica, thank you. That is actually maybe my main takeaway from it. OpenSea puts out news that would have been big back in the day. Like if Magic Eden announced this, the space would be blowing the fuck up right now. OpenSea, they're not cool anymore, so they put out something nobody gives a shit. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares, even if it's innovative, which this might be a little bit. But that was my takeaway, Jessica. I'm like, holy shit, nobody cares.
Didn't even hear about it.
NFTs whose traits modify or upgrade in response to the price or volume in which they're purchased. So what is this, like from their launch pad that you're able to create NFTs that have this functionality? Is that what they're saying?
Like, you do a Dutch auction or a regular auction, and maybe
the
rarity of your piece depends on what price you bought it at. Something like that, I think.
Okay.
They had another part, though, where you can set the currencies you can buy an NFT for, but the part that was cooler is you can have NFTs purchase other NFTs. So maybe it's like baking X copies Max Payne burn, but directly into, the actual, like, transaction itself. So, interesting. And nobody cares. That's what, again, I think that's so wild.
Yeah, there was a different timeline where like everybody would be talking about this and nobody gives a shit.
And I actually would say this is why all the replies are like this. This is why I think Bored Apes have a really steep uphill battle ahead of them, because once you're not cool, it's very hard to get cool again.
Token.
Wow.
Airdrop.
Yes.
No, sentiment is hard to get back. But
You just compared Bored Ape Yacht Club to OpenSea?
It's not a great comparison, but it's
It's
just the
not.
idea of being not cool, and it is hard to be cool again.
I don't
And
know a single person that would stand for OpenSea right now. I know thousands that would. I don't know who.
a big difference
Checking
there.
you
You're
on
right.
that.
Absolutely.
I get what you're trying to say though. Like, yes, it's tough
The
it's tough to get the narrative
narrative
back.
Yeah, once you lose the narrative, it is hard to get it back, but it's not impossible by any stretch. Magic Eden, as an example, Magic Eden was one of the people that was throwing away royalties, and look where they're at. So if you make the right moves and you dedicate yourself to a certain trajectory and it's resonating, then it comes back. Once you start getting some W's, it does come back.
All right, we are
Stick around long enough, aren't you going to be uncool at a certain point? So not likeable? And then come back and then
Ethereum is kind of uncool right now.
But there, listen, you wouldn't have base without Ethereum, so you can't.
Sounds like something a boomer would say.
Well, I'm pretty close to being a boomer. I have a lot of boomer sensibilities. So
That's fair.
just saying, long haul, not short term.
I see. I think we're all significantly bullish on ETH's future, even in this cycle. Fisker Karma is saying OpenSea is the saddest story in NFT history. It's dead to me. Then they don't care much about their users. Jess has been interacting with the OpenSea team more frequently now, and I think you're seeing maybe a new side of OpenSea, if you can kind of frame it that way. I was gonna say Fisker. I wanted to ask you guys like what the saddest story in NFTs you think is, but I feel like that's ending it on a negative note. I do want to flip this question around. What has been the most positive, like one event? I know you could say, oh, it's like, everybody gets to own their digital things and stuff. What's one positive, like huge event that you think takes the cake?
All right. I'm not going to try and take the cake, but I'm just going to throw out a relevant one that should be mentioned because it's worthy of mentioning. Leap just raised $100K through NFTs to fight cancer, literally in the last 24 hours for his birthday.
Not his cancer, right? So just
his dad's. Well, just to fight cancer in general. His dad has cancer. It's a personal.
NFTs or crypto?
I think there's NFTs involved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think people are like donating through crypto, but I think part of it is like he's promising some limited edition NFTs, or he's a creative dude. He's like an artist in his own right, so he's trying to offer NFTs to people for donating to what he thinks is a good cause, which is fighting cancer, and over 100K raised in just 24 hours.
Awesome. I realize I painted with a broad brush here. It's a weird question. This one I'll answer with maybe a more like specific NFT. Like I think Pudgy Penguin's resurrection is really cool for NFTs. I think they have gone from being bought out and pretty much in the gutter to now being the top collection NFTs. I think it's a huge W for NFTs.
Fast forward 3 months from now, Pudgy Penguins is shutting down. The Walmart's kicking him out. Luca Nets has deleted his account. No, we're just kidding. This is hopefully that does not happen.
What's the question?
It's a tough
positive
one,
story.
Like a positive story from NFTs, like a specific collection project, a moment in time, if you will. Like you could go ahead.
I think something funny that I'm seeing in the space right now is people running back that have made themselves irrelevant by leaving, and now they're returning. So like we've talked about this before on the show, like I have no interest in what they're building. I have no respect for them personally. I'm not interested in the future. I don't even care if they come out with the coolest thing. I'm not interested. I'm really excited about the people that I see that have been here that are doing something really cool, or new people entering the space, taking the attention, towards them. I think like that's really badass.
Fisker standing for BAYC here. That's
you reminded me of one of my favorite tweets that I've seen in the last couple of weeks, Jess, which was basically what was it? It was like, sex is great, but have you ever stayed in crypto and not pivoted to AI? something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Like,
Wow.
it's just like, yes.
I don't even mind like if people are experimenting in other like sections within like
Yeah, but some people
or tangent.
totally like disowned and like the Ryan Carson.
Yeah, they were like, oh, ew, you know.
What's how you left?
Just like
In a way.
hard pivot out as soon as liquidity started to leave. They're like, well, I'm now this rebrand, fresh coat of paint. Look
That's
at me,
what
I'm an
saying.
AI expert, fam. Like,
Yeah, and I feel like a little bit like we've been had with certain, you know,
For
people
sure.
and projects and personalities. And I'm not trying to be bitter about it. Like I'm bitter about plenty of other things, but with this, just like being really like logical, level-headed about it, and then using that information by how people show up, how they left, how they're returning, what is it that they're interested in? And if it aligns with my values, then maybe like that's something that I would get into, but like they've already shown themselves.
a lot of the like Web2 influencers are also coming back. CoffeeZilla was pointing out that we're starting to see those big Web2 influencer scams.
Yeah, but,
They're
like,
all starting to come back too.
Totally. I mean, the scammers are always going to come where the money is,
Yep.
but like, did you
Yep.
see that thing that he did on Nick where he's like taking him seriously? And I was like, oh my God, did I just realize CoffeeZilla or whatever is out of touch? Like,
Well,
he's not the
CoffeeZilla
best
sounds like a
person.
guy that wouldn't be fun at a party, right?
He's-
like
he's
he's the guy
very
that
literal.
goes over his head. Yeah,
Like,
He's very literal.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, he's
Wait,
also
wait.
doing a lot of really good work, I would say.
Guys, we have to shut down the show relatively soon. Huda, did you have a answer to my kind of gray area question? I understand it wasn't super specific.
I think I didn't even hear that.
It's-
Wow,
Shit.
dude, I zone out sometimes.
That's why I told you I had to ask.
We're not cool.
again.
We're not cool enough.
No, I dropped out of high school. Like I don't focus well. Like I can't. So
He drops out of the show.
There you
halfway
go.
through.
I just
Smash
go in the
the
zone.
like
I don't know
for
what's
your
going on.
dropping
opinion.
out of high school, fam.
Huda,
Let's
in your
fucking
opinion,
go.
what has been the best story? Because we had a question earlier, like OpenSea is one of the worst stories of NFTs, basically, right? Their downfall has been one to watch. Flipping that on its head, has there been a story that you've been like, wow, that's really good for NFTs, or that is like one of the most positive stories in this timeline since 21? I know that's a tough question.
Well,
I get it.
I think this is what you were saying, pudgy penguins. I mean, I think that's the obvious one, like the lowest hanging fruit. I gotta think. I'll come
Okay.
tomorrow. I'll have a better
Tomorrow.
answer.
Let's do it. Fisker saying, can't wait for NFT NYC. Should be much better than last year. True collectors this year. All right, we're going to get into the end of the episode here. We had Jessica Atrosky join us for the whole time. Sans hat, by the way.
We're gonna get into the getting out.
Yeah, we're getting into the end.
Well, that's a whole
times.
thing in and of itself. It takes sometimes
Wrap-
take us 10
yeah, you
minutes
gotta
to
wrap it up.
leave
All right,
this.
wrap it up.
We have different segments here.
Pull out.
Jess, the next time you're here on NFT Live, please abide by the rules.
Which
Bring
are-
a backwards hat.
Oh,
Or just a
hang
hat in
on.
general.
Wait a second.
Yeah, the uniform. We
gotta
haven't
prove
criticized you for not being in uniform this entire show, but frankly, it's insulting.
I got so many hats in here, you guys. Oh,
I'm
shit.
waiting for it. This better be a good one.
Fuck. Oh, now
it's
you're
not
like,
gonna be worth it. This is
fuck.
not worth it
Are
already.
you serious?
Man, that,
Oh,
let's
you
wrap
know
it
what?
up. Behind, that
Hey, you
bush
want to
behind
see a
you.
big disappointment?
What
Oh
does that
wow!
say?
hell yeah.
Loser? Wow. Someone snapped this.
Wow!
This is up there with Shep.
You paid for that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Oh,
Just-
with my soul too.
You bought this.
I bought that.
Jess, match my finger real quick and we'll get the snapshot.
Wait, hang on.
Ooh. Boom. There it is right there. All right. We had Jay Yacht on the show again. I'm going to drop some final links here for y'all to check out.
Goodbye too. I got a plushie here.
Bring on everything.
Do you guys know what this is?
Oh, eat Denver.
Buffercorn?
Yeah.
Got him.
Woo.
Love it.
I know an ETH Denver.
All right. No, you're not derailing that. You guys are trying, and we're not doing this. Huda, you're next. Gifted and send us out. Thank you guys for tuning in. OVOT, all that stuff. We'll be back tomorrow with Biggie Poppins and DP and just the whole squad. And we have to get Jessica here more, please.
Hell yes.
Yeah. Buy my NFT
Buy her NFT.
on ETH.
All right, Huda.
ETH is failing, I guess.
What's up? Am I seeing us out?
Well, you're just saying bye, unless you don't, and then move it on to Gift. This has been a complete derailment. What's up?
Yeah.
We are
Okay, hang on.
professionals. I swear.
If this isn't
We're
our 400th
professionals.
episode, it's fine.
One day. All right. I'm going to try to say the thing, the word, the OVR. I'm gonna try to say it the right way because I realized I can't. Like how I fuck it up, that's what I actually am. That's what I do.
It's that Midwest accent.
I don't know what it is, man. Our vibe, our tribe.
Okay.
There we go.
Good. That's solid.
Love it.
You're doing it from now on. Gift,
That's
just
great.
go into it. You knew that was
Appreciate
the
y'all.
transition. I should
Appreciate y'all. Shout out Jay for coming through. Always awesome to have you. And yeah, I'll say it the real right way. Verber chirp.